Good afternoon from the Ramsey Hotel and Convention Center in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. It is Wilderness Week. In today's video, I figured I'd walk you through the vendor hall and show you a couple of things that are for sale and maybe meet some people who can tell you a little bit about what they do here in the Great Smoky Mountains. So, without further ado, let today's adventure begin. This is the 31st annual Wilderness Wildlife Week here in Pigeon Forge. From January 24th through the 28th is this year's dates. They have a number of different speakers throughout the week, as well as a number of hikes and bus trips that you can take. But like, here's today's schedule. So for example, later tonight they'll be doing a talk on how to handle your trash around bears. And the Sutton family will be talking tonight about how they hike the entire trail with a 4-year-old. Got some live music here. So one of the first vendors is Nancy East here, who's got a book. You want to tell us a little bit about your book?
Yeah, so my book is inspired by my involvement with Search and Rescue, Haywood County, North Carolina. We work with the park sometimes when they have involved searches, and there was a missing mom off of Clingman's Dome in 2018 that inspired this book. It was a tragic ending, and I wanted to give back after her death to the park and wanted to raise money for preventative search and rescue programs. I set out to hike all the trails in the park in record time, and I thought a middle-aged minivan driving mom would probably catch some attention trying to beat an ultra runner's record. So I teamed up with my best friend and we achieved the goal and have the record still now 2 years later. So my book's just the story of the hike itself as well as the story leading up to it.
Can we find it online?
You can, yep, at my website is probably the best place, nancyeast.com, just my name. It's on Amazon and places like that. It's in all the visitor centers too in the park.
Awesome, we'll put a link down to it in the bottom of this video. You can check out Nancy's book. Thanks, Nancy.
Yeah, thank you.
So the gentleman here is doing some wood burning artwork that he has for sale. These are fantastic. I really love this owl right here. Look at those eyes. It's amazing. Very, very cool. And these ladies are doing some carvings as well. What are you making?
Friendship cane. One will stack on top of another. There'll be a dowel down there like this, and it'll be more like a totem pole than it will be a walking cane.
Oh, wow.
There may be 6, 7, 8. You never know how many's going to be on there.
Who did this owl?
Don Taylor.
Oh, wow.
Uh-huh.
That is very,
and if
very
he
impressive.
sells it, his wife will kill him. So we put up $5,000 on it and decided that it'll probably be safe.
It's listed for $5,000?
Uh-huh.
Okay. His wife doesn't want him to sell it?
No.
It's amazing, all the detail. So this is the process of making these feathers?
This is the process, And then you have this when it's put together.
And then you end up with a final wood product, like some of these.
The fish is not completed yet. That will be painted.
Some great artwork. This owl is beautiful too. They have a number of different shirts and hoodies and hats. I do like this one. It says, "Every adventure starts with a single step." Long sleeve shirt, that's $20. And you got one cool looking cat here. This bobcat with Pigeon Forge sunglasses. You have another long sleeve shirt here, Wilderness Wildlife Week. Pigeon Forge. So the next vendor table is the Bearwise, part of the Tennessee Wildlife Resources. And I have Jenna here. We're going to ask a couple questions. Tell me a little bit about Bearwise.
Yeah, so Bearwise is a nationwide program that is all about teaching people how to live and recreate responsibly with black bears. And so it was actually started here in Tennessee, and a lot of state agencies are members of it, as well as other groups, and a lot of groups support Bearwise. And it's just all about getting that accurate, consistent information out for people.
What's probably the most common misconception that you run into when it comes to black bears in the Smokies?
The most common misconception is that people need to do something in order to see a black bear in the Smokies. And unfortunately, a lot of that includes food. So people will purposefully leave food out for a bear, or they don't realize how much bear activity there is. And so they think it's not that big of a deal if they just leave their garbage bag out, or they don't lock their car, or they leave their cooler sitting outside their campsite, that kind of thing. They don't think it's that big of a deal, when in reality that can cause a lot of future problems for people and for bears.
Another question I see asked is, do black bears here in the Smokies, do they hibernate this time of year?
They do. So bears hibernate a little differently than what a lot of people think of. And so hibernation is really all about food availability. And so if there is still food available, bears will get up and walk around and eat a little bit here and there. And that food could be natural or non-natural. So unfortunately, in places in and around the Smokies, if people have bird feeders up, or they leave their garbage out, or they leave their pet food out, that will kind of keep a bear awake. But females with cubs do still go in the den when they have cubs that year and stuff. So they are a lot more confined and in that den. But those solitary bears, especially the males, they move around still in the winter, but their activity level is still lower.
Awesome. Thanks, Jenna, so much for your time. There's some guides and shuttle services over here to the left. You have your main check-in table with all the information you need, as well as Tennessee State Bank and some other vendors down here. They have some snakes on this table, which I will not be holding. I'm not a fan of snakes like Indiana Jones. Got little Cades Cove information tables over here. I have a Keep Severe Beautiful table, as well as a pink Jeep tour. So they have a national park sticker, a little pink Jeep, a bear, and a pink Jeep logo. So we'll give these away to somebody on a future video. If you'd like to see what a pink Jeep tour is like, I'll put a link in the description of the one that we did. Had a really great time, definitely recommend it. So we have Danita Dotson is an author, and she did a presentation. Tell us a little bit about your book.
I have written Trailing the Azimuth, my first book, and The Medicine Woods. And both of them are collections of poems about nature and honoring the natural spaces, both physically and in memory. The first book is inspired by actual trails I've taken, not just here in East Tennessee, but throughout the world. And Medicine Woods is pretty much in the spirit of my grandmother's love of medicinal plants to heal us.
Awesome. We'll put a link down in the description to check out your books.
Thank you.
Thanks, Danita. If you're a fan of Smoky Mountain artwork, there is some fantastic photos by some of the photographers that are here showing their artwork off or selling some of their prints. There are a number of vendors from the Great Smoky Arts and Crafts community that are out demonstrating, doing a number of different new pieces. Got a number of beautiful oil paintings here, as well as a number of different t-shirts and some other photographs for sale, and a number of photographs over here that they have a competition for. And the Moon Pie General Store, the original book warehouse in the Great Smoky Mountains, has a little vendor booth here. Check out this Smoky Mountain 6-pack. You can get yourself a moon pie and some RC Cola in this little 6-pack for $9.99. That's pretty neat. You can pick that up at the Moon Pie store. We'll try to go into that store and give you a full tour soon. Well, that's going to wrap up today's video, going to the Ramsey Hotel and Convention Center here in Pigeon Forge just checking out some of the vendor tables. So there is a lot more that goes on as far as hikes and guides and all sorts of classes that you can sit in and watch. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, just checking out some of the vendors and talking to them and learning about them. Any of the links to their books or resources I'll put down in the description. And thanks so much for watching and joining us on this video. We'll see you on the next adventure.